Q review with our friend Pat. What's going on, Grant?
What is going on, Quinn?
Uh,
Last time I saw you, you weren't wearing a Nevada t-shirt, but we were in Nevada. No, wait. We were in California. But we were in
That's
Nevada
actually a lie,
that
yeah.
day.
we drove from Nevada to California in a very rushed state. I don't know if we told you this, Pat, or maybe Grant explained, but it seemed like we were trying to drop Grant off. Yeah, Grant, go for it.
I was just going to say, the term unnecessary roughness, it was unnecessary rushness because we didn't need to be rushed.
Not at all.
Stupid spirit.
Because it was a weird situation where Grant had to take this flight out in LAX in Los Angeles, and we did the late checkout, and we were driving, and everything was good because, one, the traffic was more than you expected. Everyone's going back to LA. Everyone's going back
From
to
EDC.
California.
Yeah, it's just one big line.
From the music festival we had attended in Las Vegas. But then Grant's flight was delayed. So we're like, perfect. And then, and then it went back to not being delayed.
It was undelayed. And then you're like, okay. So then I rush in there. And dude, while I was in security, there was this guy who like looked at other people's tickets. He's like, oh no, you guys go this way. And then I was like, oh, I bet that's like the I'm about to miss my flight line. So I was like, hey dude. And he's like, you're here. I'm like, yeah, I'm about. He's like, yes, sir, here.
Right here. You're good, buddy.
Like,
But they went over there, yeah.
Yeah, they went. Their line looked short over there. And
okay,
then
just
I
let us-
get to the gate, and I'm like, what? Like, are we boarding? Like, it's like boarding time.
Yeah.
Right when I get there.
Just
And they're
made
like,
it.
Oh no, we're gonna make an announcement at 9:30.
What time is it?
Okay, it's like 9:10.
Okay.
They're gonna make an announcement. I'm like, okay.
Wait.
Okay.
Not
And
soon.
and also their speaker system, like at that gate, was like you couldn't hear it. I don't know if it was broken. Every other gate, like I could hear 3 gates down, but I couldn't hear the gate that I was in because I don't know, the speakers were broken or something. So then you're just sitting there, and then they kind of make an announcement at 9:30, and then you're sitting there, and the sign that says Cleveland then changes to Baltimore, and you're like. Like I was on my iPad, and I'm like, my brain cells are gone. So I'm like, did I miss my flight? Like sitting here somehow? Like, so I go up, and they're like, no, Cleveland's still. This is the right gate. I'm like, what's going on? And they're like, oh well, the flight attendant. They kept on saying the flight attendant was here.
Flight attendants
And
here.
Good, yeah. They're
was
supposed
like-
to be here, yeah.
Flight
Like
attendants
the
here,
flight
sir.
attendant's here. So
Call me your tits,
we're
sir.
just waiting for them or something.
Yeah, we
I'm
can
like,
get her
okay.
if you want. Like, yeah, we can get. She's here.
She's here. She's in the back. She's getting changed.
Yeah,
You want to talk to her?
You're at the right gate. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is where the flight attendant for the Cleveland flight's at. So yeah, that's so
then,
weird.
Then they would make announcements that would switch the Baltimore gate to another gate, and you're sitting there, but it still says Baltimore. But then they're switching Baltimore to over there, and you're like, okay. And then they switched it from Baltimore to Chicago, and then I'm like, what's going
Like
on?
really missed
And then they made the announcement again that they were switching the Chicago flight to another gate, and all this is happening. No updates on the app. It just says like on time on the app. I'm like, dude, it's like 10:30. What do you mean on time? Like it's an hour and 20 minutes after boarding.
We're on time.
It's not on time.
It's all about the numbers.
Yeah.
And then you finally, like 2 hours later, like 11:10, we start boarding, and then you get on the plane, and then it updates. It's like your flight has been delayed. You're like,
Yeah.
why?
Yeah, we had to even like skip in and out, skip food. We were gonna like leisurely get some lunch or brunch
I had
or
a
whatever you
cold
want to call it.
sandwich.
Yeah, food was rough in Nevada. But I have a question for you, Grant, because
Yeah.
you could have we got to the airport at pretty much the exact same time. Would you do that again? Would you do like the layover rather than just the long flight?
Saying
Was-
you guys ended up going to your respective airports both at 11 p.m.
Oh, you mean the car layover thing?
Yeah, the car
Yeah.
layover versus the
Uh,
city layover.
Because really,
I
you went on
think-
3 great trips. You had 3 legs to your journey.
I think if the app was just updated correctly,
Yeah.
I would have preferred that way because then we would have gotten
Yeah.
food, we could have gotten there, it would have been fine. Even if it was just delayed like till 9:50, which is said originally, and then
Yeah.
backtrack for some reason because we got to talk it through. I got to take a nap. It was kind of fun to drive through. It's not that bad of a drive.
That's
But
Yeah, it
that's
was
true.
better
It would
coming
be a cool
back.
drive.
And it
yeah,
was
the main thing was just like the fact that they weren't updating the app made me get up and talk to the guy like 3 times because like obviously I like the likelihood that I
Excuse me,
miss
sorry.
my flight is so like you're sitting there and no one has gotten up to like line up yet, but you're still just like, well, it doesn't say it's delayed. It's just nice to relieve my anxiety to be like, oh, yep, it got delayed. Like even more.
it's delayed.
Yeah, just,
It was like the only time we've ever felt happy for a delay. We're like, oh, that's great. Let's
Perfect.
get some food.
Yeah,
Would've been
I was
perfect
like,
timing.
you would almost want it to be delayed as long as possible for that.
Mm-hmm.
Like within reason, but so you don't feel rushed at all, and you can still get there comfy, and have some quality time.
Get some nice food. That was like, I don't
I
think we
eat
ate.
everyone
that.
wanted
I
it.
didn't eat it all.
Mhm.
Yeah. We were just like, we gotta go.
Yeah, it was nice to kind of decompress, and I mean, the whole weekend fucking flew by. So that was like when you're stuck in a car, it's like, what do you want to talk about?
Yeah,
There's a double rainbow when we were driving back.
that's pretty
Crazy
Also,
skies.
I realized that we lucked out because it was like so stormy and like bad weather that day. Like
yeah, it was rough.
it would have been bad if that was at like 2 a.m. on a desert. You're like freezing.
Yeah, just
But
shaking.
we had good weather.
Yeah. I feel like a rain like that in the desert probably doesn't happen that frequently. So
No.
Once in a lifetime. Once in
final
100,
storm.
every 100 years storm.
the electric
Double
sky
rainbow in the
cries.
desert?
Something like that. All right, speaking of the desert, guys, the desert
Spice.
storm, the spice. What are we talking about today, Grant?
Today, we were talking about Dune, not to be confused with the 1984
yeah, we reviewed
Lynch
Dune.
version. No. You think we
Oh.
did. But there's a new Dune that came out this year, 2021, October 21st. Right? 22nd, October 22nd. Dune is an American epic science fiction film directed by Denis Villeneuve, written by him too. It is the first of a planned 2-part adaptation of the 1965 novel by Frank Herbert, primarily covering the first half of the book. Set far in the future, it follows Paul Atreides as his family is thrust into war for the dangerous desert planet Arrakis.
All right, Dune, second time through. You guys watched this in the theaters, right? First movie back in a while.
I think first movie since The Joker.
The Joker.
I did see that in theaters too. I saw the Demon Slayer movie in theaters as well, though. So
All
that
right,
was a
that
couple
doesn't,
months.
that doesn't
ago.
really count.
Oh, it's first movie seen back.
First movie
for a
back,
while. Since the
epic film.
Joker, same as Grant.
Yeah, wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, Pat, what did you think?
This one. So for the viewers, we have like a Discord server. It's like 8-bit. You can't really hear. It sounds like you're speaking into a microwave. And I feel like that was the 1984 version of this one. It's like you can't really know what's going on. Visuals aren't clear, vocabulary is not clear, storyline's all jotty. And seeing this movie, it's like the most clear thing ever. Like I feel like you're just understanding the
128-bit.
story. Yeah, probably even higher than that. Not that it makes a difference. But you just feel like you know what's going on. It's got pretty cool characters. Like you kind of feel like you connect to them. They're not just kind of like blank slates like they kind of felt in the original one. Very beautiful, cool worms. The story was pretty much the same, I felt. So they kind of true rendition, didn't make any crazy changes. The only thing I thought negative about it was the music sometimes was too loud. I could not hear what someone was saying. And I felt like that happened like on many occasions.
Yeah, that
So-
was something I noticed in the theater as well. Theaters don't have subtitles. I don't know if I'm like
been watching
if I
everything
always
on
would have felt.
subtitles?
Yeah, it's like you're just like that's nice. It may like has my hearing like is my attention worse? Is my hearing worse? Or like is subtitles just the way to go? I don't know.
Well, with some of these
I was missing though.
heavy lore movies.
Did you have subtitles on, Quinn?
I did because I was watching it on my couch on HBO Max.
So you're the expert.
I was, but I feel like I knew everything that. I mean, we reviewed it before. I don't think there was any difference
Yeah.
in what they were doing or saying, except for one of the biggest things that right off the bat, like fucking threw me for a loop, is what's the name of the people that occupy planet Arrakis? What is their faction?
Originally,
Yes.
the Harkonnens.
Is it the Harkonnens or is it the Harkonnens?
They're the Harkonnens.
Which one is it, Grant?
Oh shoot, I don't even remember.
They say Harkonnens.
Uh-huh. And in the other movie, they say Harkonnens.
I like Harkonnens better.
I think, from what I've looked up, is the author's true pronunciation is Harkonnen.
Harkonnen.
But I don't know how you would make a whole fucking movie. And they're like, how do you say this word? They're at this table. I don't know. Harkonnen sounds cool. And you do that for the whole film.
Yeah,
And then you change it in the next film.
Yeah, the guy was heavily involved in both films, or at least the first film. I remember he was like, it's a good rendition of Dune. It was good.
Paid actor.
I mean, he's dead, right?
Frank
So I don't think he was
Yeah,
involved.
Mr.
Yeah, why would they change it then?
I don't know.
I thought he gave the thumbs up approval for the first one. So Mr. Villeneuve and Dennis.
I mean,
Why are you changing the pronunciation, Dennis?
you get into probably a weird conversation where maybe you find out like, oh shit, we said it wrong in the last film. Like, what do we do this time? Do you change it or you just stick with it?
You change it, you make it right.
Yes, but the Harkonnens are coming.
Harkonnens.
The Harkonnens,
Harkonnens.
they're attacking.
Hark.
So that was mildly infuriating, just because they said it so many times. I was like, wait, it's Harkonnen.
Am I the only one that did not know until the first like scene of Dune or the title that this was only a first part?
I saw that right. I saw that right away. It's in part 1.
Yeah.
But
before
before
that,
Going
you,
into the movie.
you sat down and pressed play. Did you know it was just?
I feel like I knew it from somewhere.
Okay.
And then because I saw the part 1, I was like, yeah, that's right. It's part 1, which is, I mean,
I was
stupid.
like, it's part 1, I guess.
It's another Matrix
I thought
type
they
thing.
snuck that in there.
Well, it just ends on the dumbest note. I mean,
I thought that was a good note.
dude, like,
What, you guys
was
gotta
that the
remind me
climax? Where
when they
you have
It's a natural
the-
transition.
the Fremen.
the Fremen dude kind of bar fight to the death.
Yeah. Let me
Paul
ask you.
Atreides, and it was like, and it's all in
He's
fucking slow
toying with
motion.
him. He's toying with him.
Yeah, I
He was
don't-
afraid to kill him. And then he starts yelling like a goat.
Well, it was weird because he had visions that dude would help him out,
A friend would guide him.
and then he killed the guy.
murdered his ass.
Yeah, sometimes his visions, they're not quite right.
Well, he did kind of help him out. Like now he's accepted. Now he's one of them.
Yeah, thank you, friend.
Thank you, friend.
Yeah, spoiler alert. I did not like this movie at all.
Really?
I mean, I thought it was terrible.
Huh.
I mean, maybe there is like something about the theater experience where you're like these epic visuals
Yeah.
going on, and you're like, I can
The
appreciate
music.
this,
Mm-hmm.
but like for a story you've already seen before, and they're like, yeah, we're just gonna put everything at slow motion and make this part 1.
That's what I see. I was upset that it was, and I understand, but like I think it's the opposite. It's like Matrix 2 into 3. It's like all this fucking setup. And so you're just like, then the day you're like, okay. Yeah. That's how I kind of left it too. I was like I was like, okay, I want to watch the next film though. Like,
doesn't that mean the movie did a good job though?
No.
I
No,
don't
the whole
know.
movie was like a build up. It was
But I don't think you can stray away from that because I think it's necessary to have everything we just saw. Do you think it took too much time? You know, actually, this is one thing in my head that I remember different from the Lynch version was instead of they had a whole unnecessary like 20 minutes that I remember it was him and the mom crashed the ship after they they escaped, you know, they crashed the ship. From there, I remember that they found the Fremen right away. They walked and then they found the Fremen, which actually would make a lot of sense because the whole scenes that happened after that was not very helpful. What happened? He went back. I guess the Duncan guy like died for them. That was it. But they hit out for like 20 minutes. Duncan dies. They escape. Then they go back out and find the Fremen. I don't know what happens in the books if they like were like, oh, this is how it actually happened. But I remember in the movie they crash landed, found the Fremen, and the whole time I was excited. I was like, all right, they're gonna meet the Fremen. They're gonna meet the Fremen. They're gonna
back
meet
to
the
Jason
Fremen.
Momoa.
They're gonna meet the Fremen, and then they meet the Fremen, and the movie ends pretty quick after that.
Yeah, it was slow as shit. A lot of unnecessary things. I
Give me
thought
your favorite unnecessary thing, Quinn.
Well, I actually kind of, in some ways, I even like the 8-bit movie more. Like, I thought, like, for instance, the shields. I was like, oh, they're gonna make the shields look so cool, but
Yeah.
it just kind of looked dumb, and it wasn't like you could still get stabbed. I felt like in the last movie, the shields actually did something.
Yeah, I felt like they didn't do anything as well.
It was like a visual effect that Paul's mom, the Bene Gesserit, I thought they were like a little bit more, it was obvious they were different in the other
I
old
agree
film.
too. It was more like incestuous kind of weird vibes in Lynch's film. This was like less so. Also, I think the actors were way hotter in Lynch's film.
Just to go back to the 80s. Like, they had that whole scene where he puts his hand in the box, and I just wasn't feeling it. I don't know.
I think Lynch did a good job with that scene.
Yeah,
actually,
that's what
because
I
I think
thought.
like they weren't. I think they were showing what Paul. It was like psychedelic almost, like what he was going through and this pain and shit. And instead, I think with this one, he was just like,
What's in the box?
Yeah, there's a lot of close-up facials,
Pain?
some grunting.
I mean, I could go on. No one said the spice must flow, right? I mean, that's classic, right? You got to say that. Just blowing my mind. The other thing, they tried to do like a Avengers type thing where you put in like jokes in like very
my God.
serious
Yep.
situations.
did they land? No one in the theater laughed for any of them.
Who was doing the jokes?
I have
feel like
two
I must
jokes.
have
I said-
repressed these.
There are only
You got
two.
the one in the trailer, which he's like, "Oh, you put on some muscle,"
Yeah.
and then Paul's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"Really?" And he's like,
It's like,
"No."
no. Terrible. What a terrible fucking joke.
They are terrible.
And then the one where like they did the spitting, like this, it was like it seen as a sign of disrespect, and it's like, oh no, and then the one guy kind of spits.
Was that even a joke? I thought that was actually a sign of respect because they live in the desert.
But yeah, the muscles joke, I was like, dude, what the fuck? Who wrote that?
And it was right at the start too.
It was in the trailer, so
Was
it's
it?
like, yeah, so it's so cringy. Yeah,
So
I don't like those either. It's like
you don't need
it's-
those jokes.
No, just be serious about it.
I mean, I can take a break. You guys.
I think they Avengered the whole movie, Quinn.
In what way?
It's a lot of setup. It's a lot of lore. It's you're buying in. You're buying in, Quinn. You got to buy in and be like, this is it. I'm excited for the universe. I'm excited for the next one. Like, this might be the first of 6. Who knows? There's a lot of fucking Dune books, right?
Yeah, I don't.
Probably like 20.
Yeah. And this was
Half of the first one.
half of one book. How long is Dune novel?
It's not that long.
It's only 400 pages. So, like,
It's hard when you're trying to draw on the source material. I mean, I think just a lot of these things probably come off way cooler in the book.
Like,
And then you're
I almost
like-
wish they would have slowed it down more, did more
it down
family. Well, no, listen to this. Like, slowed it down more, did more. Like, I think when they got attacked, like, that whole thing could have been way more clear and, like, more as one of the last things in this film where you're like, holy shit, dude. That was devastating. And then, like, it gives you, like, a glimmer of hope of, like, what happens next. And then you pick up there versus like that scene almost felt right. Like even in a theater, the whole like destruction shit, like they kind of sped through it in my opinion, because we didn't really get to see how many, like they didn't show the brutality of that act because I think everyone like at House Atreides died, right? Like my understanding is there were women and children. Everyone went to the planet, right? Is because they mentioned multiple times that like House Atreides is done. So like we didn't see any of that. We didn't see like imagine if you had another storyline that you added that showed like a normal Atreides like family that was not royalty that was there and like the destruction of them when the whole base gets destroyed. Like that's more stakes. That sounds interesting.
It does
Versus
sound
speeding
interesting.
through it, you know, like
And they really hyped up like that. What's the dude's name who was like, "I am smiling." He's like the trainer.
the old man guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was saying like, "You don't know the Harkonnens. Like they're brutal." And then they just kind of speed through all of that. Like they're just kind of saying things
Yeah.
associated.
We didn't see
but
the
then they don't show
brutality.
anything. Even
Yeah,
though they've
why-
got like this big budget, beautiful world, and it is like. That's like the major event that happened. That was like the major thing that kind of occurred. You know, it's like the transfer of power.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like 10 minutes and it's just accepted.
You know, think about like the Death Star blowing up. Like you have like fucking chills, you know, because of I don't know, the theory of filmmaking, but I'm assuming the setup and everything that happened before that, where it's all the stakes and you're like, holy fuck. Like it wasn't like that. It wasn't like, holy fuck. It was like, you're also confused because they were doing that, like, as much as they slowed it down, I was still confused with like the traitor plot and like he left and like, why is he walking? I don't know. He's walking alone. There's no guards. And then who is the dead lady on the ground? Just a
Guard.
random lady.
Yeah, some
Random.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, there's
And they didn't show like Paul getting kidnapped. They didn't show her getting. They just like were on the ship, and you're like, shouldn't they probably like that would be intense? Like the Harkonnens coming and like finding fucking Paul because he was just like he woke up. He was like, what?
Huh?
Like,
And
I
it would have
mean,
been cool
that
to
whole
see,
thing. Yeah.
like, you know, how it was stressed the importance of like having her like gagged or whatever, so she couldn't speak.
Yeah,
Like
didn't explain
seeing what it takes to like get that on her, you know?
Yeah.
Like let's see, like she's supposed to be this bad bitch, like show it.
Like watching like her do it and one guy kill another, and then they have to like triple, quadruple.
Yeah,
team her,
just some
you know,
crazy
like,
thing while like her
Yeah.
husband's being dragged away, or not her husband, but like you
Paul
know
or something, yeah.
Leto is being dragged away, and she's worried about Paul, and like just like kind of deepen the show the character development rather than just kind of going through it.
Yeah. That's
So
Potentially.
good.
am I convincing you? Like, it sounded like you guys kind of liked it. But
yeah. I think
went
the
up-
experience
was a
of
cool-
a theater is
like,
nice.
damn, we're back.
It adds some points.
it was
does.
epic. It was epic.
Yeah, it was
and
epic.
It was beautiful.
We had great popcorn. We had great drinks. We were sitting there. We're
Did
lounging
you layer
backs.
the butter?
It was a
Pat-
good time, dude. They fucking they bone you now
Self-serve.
because it's all self-serve butter.
What?
So they give you a full bag. How can you layer a full bag, Quinn? Answer: You can't. You can't layer it
but you do
Where's the butter at?
on the
by the
top.
drinks,
It's like
by
on
the
the counter.
Coke Freestyle.
What the hell? Wait, why? Why does that even matter? Why can't they butter it?
They're lazy.
Maybe there's like
I mean, no. What is the COVID reason? Like,
maybe there's
I think
people who
they've had
just are
that
like,
before.
"Can I have more butter, please?"
More butter.
Well, I think it just makes the people more efficient. So it's much easier to scoop.
Yeah,
oh, you
when
just skip the
I-
popcorn.
And
you
get the next
next
customer.
person.
Yeah.
Butter's
when
over
I went
there.
to Bond, they didn't even have ticket. They didn't have anyone in the concession. Like you bought tickets, you gave tickets, you bought concessions from like that. That is it.
Yeah.
Damn. Now, the last movie, I've only probably seen one movie in theaters since all this shit happened, is we saw Shang-Chi at the like Alamo Draft House, and they're pretty
What did you see?
Alamo Draft
You
House?
write down your order. You hand it to them.
Yeah.
What movie did you
It's
see?
cool.
Shang-Chi, Grant.
The Marvel movie.
The
mister.
Marvel one, the 10 Rings.
I've never even heard that until now. I didn't
Do
know
they
that
have
was a
those
thing.
in Cleveland, Pat?
Mm-mm. I think they're only out west.
Oh, okay.
What are they?
Nice
it's
movie
just
theaters.
it's a very nice movie theater. I mean, you write down. I mean, the whole movie they have like little people running around, and if you have your little paper sticking up, they'll take your order for like drinks and food and.
Popcorn refills. They just bring
Pop-
you a bowl of popcorn.
Yeah, it was a
It's
great
vegan.
experience. They're pretty Nazi-ish about the phones and talking too. I mean, I was told like at least 5 times, like if you talk or you like your phone goes off
Quinn.
or something, you're getting out.
Did you talk to Celia at all? Were you like?
I think I did once. Yeah, I said something. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I
But-
thought like they
that's-
came up to you because you were causing problems.
Oh
5
no no,
times.
no 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 no! It's just in the previews. Like they'll have
Okay.
like 3 ads in the previews, and like some person like physically tells you when you're getting your ticket. It's just like I get it. It's my
I thought you were like another Bud Light, sir. And they're like, you don't
Fill her
talk.
I said another Bud Light.
movie's almost finished.
Come on.
No, it was great. We would have gotten like dinner there too if we knew
How?
how full of
Luxury.
service. Yeah, I would have spent. Gave them all my money. It was $300. Shang-Chi.
They are like
That is
ninjas
dope.
too. They're so stealthy.
Oh yeah. Well, I saw the difference in 2 employees. One person was like really good. Like she was like bending over and like really like ninja going through the rows,
Oh.
and then one dude was just like walking normally. So that guy he was doing all right.
That I have heard of places like that. I think there might be one in Columbus, but there's not like a chain. Like there's not one I think I can go to.
The best part, honestly, was just, I mean, it was a very small theater. It fit like 25 people, but everyone had a bomb ass seat, so you could recline and shit. It's like no one else is reclining. I was like, I'm fucking reclining.
My feet are going up. Yeah, Grant and I had some pretty comfy seats. It was nice. No
you
wait.
ever-
It wasn't
see-
like, I mean, you think about to the price when you're like young, and you're like, this is crazy, and you're like, yeah, the fucking snacks are like expensive, the drinks expensive, but we got a refill of popcorn and we got like 2.5 refills of like a drink, you know, like
Yeah.
we were chilling. It was good. I mean, the only thing I would sneak in is like candy. If I
How
wanted
much was
candy.
the actual ticket?
Like $12 or something.
Okay, see that's where ours was like 20. It's like,
20, but that's in California. You go to an AMC,
That's
it's
fair.
$20, right?
Might be. I haven't been in movie theaters. Gotta purchase all my tickets.
When did Shang-Chi come out?
Shang-Chi?
A couple weeks ago, maybe a month. I don't know. It
pretty
You
good.
said you haven't been to
Recent.
movie theaters.
I went to one. What do you mean?
That's what he saw.
Yeah. It's not that long ago.
It was like a month ago, 2 months ago.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
What,
you
what
go
seems to
movie
be the problem,
theaters.
officer?
You go to movie theaters. You
Went
saw
to one-
Shang-Chi.
Went to one.
That's a moviegoer. If you went in
I'm
the
a
last
moviegoer.
3 months, you're a moviegoer in my eyes.
All right,
It
I'm a
expires
monthly
1 month from
subscriber,
now,
yeah.
Quinn. Yeah.
Sign me up for Movie Pass, whatever you want to call it. I'm not gonna go see Dune. That's for sure.
Dang, can you believe it? As
I
much
will
as
see Dune 2. Like I'm excited.
I mean,
I'm
I'll
still
have to. You'll have
excited
to.
for Dune 2.
Yeah, that's how they get you.
So let me ask you guys this: is this just the wrong medium? Have we moved past like these long form, kind of a lot of lore? Is it like just outdated to have that in like a movie format? And should this just be like an HBO series or something? Or what do you guys think?
It's just
That
too hard.
I
and-
actually think I would like this better as an HBO series. Yeah. Why? But why? Why? I don't know.
I don't even think you would. I don't even think it can be like
that much.
serialized into like different episodes that would leave you feeling like, damn, that was a good episode.
Yeah, dude.
You don't think
Okay,
so?
okay,
It'd be like
okay.
the battle
okay.
of, like,
No, let's
Atreides.
think this through, guys. Let's think this
what-
through. You got Harry Potter. Every Harry Potter movie, in my eyes, slapped pretty hard. It was all
Standalone.
good. You understand the fucking story. That's about magic. They have to world build. They have to explain shit. And the fucking books are how long? Dude, this is 400 fucking pages, and you're telling me you can't make a 2.5 hour movie like of that? Yeah,
Yeah.
you're gonna drop some shit out, but you can make it good. And like, dude, I mean, Chamber of Secrets. There's so much shit happens. Any of them, you know.
But what about when they start doing the part 1, part 2? Did you like those?
I never saw part 2.
So you don't like when it's split in half.
No,
Well, no,
'cause
he
it
liked
feels
part
like
one
the
so
beginning.
much. It was he didn't even need to see.
I
Part
never even
two.
saw it, and I don't know how. I think everyone died, or Dumbledore dies.
Whoa.
Harry gets married to Jenny, right, or something.
We can move away
Ron
from
and
Harry Potter.
Hermione are the thing. I think
We
maybe
can
that
move
should
away.
be next week. Should we watch the last Harry Potter?
I think they in those movies they may just drop things. They say, "Hey, we're gonna focus on like this plot point. Like Harry's gotta get to the chamber pot."
But why not? Like it felt like they didn't drop
They do.
anything.
No,
and they could have.
Yeah.
Or they could have just explained. I think the storytelling, like setup, the world building was still rushed for them splitting up. Like
Yeah.
if I had not seen fucking Dune 1984,
There's no way.
I think I would have been confused.
You're like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, what's up with that? That's to me is a bad. That means they're not doing a
You
great
think you would have
job.
been confused by this movie if you did not see the first one? Okay,
Yeah, I was asking you questions.
that's fair.
I was like, what's? I was confused.
That's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair. That's fair.
It's
Like,
just a lot.
I don't think they set up like even that little drone bug thing. Like, I think in the Dune movie they talked about. I mean, in Lynch's movie, I think they talked about it beforehand. They're like, "Oh yeah, this is like an assassination device," and then it came up, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't remember, but I see where you're going. Yeah, I don't. It was a little funky construction, but I felt like they did do a good job. And it's like it's hard to like I thought compared to the Lynch one, I thought this one was like head and shoulders above because it was much more clear, and I felt like they just built out the characters more. Because I felt in the old one they were just like Paul was just like a little cog almost. Like he didn't do anything. He was just kind of there.
And
He's
Pat
the
is
Moab
a
Deep.
he's a fantasy fan.
I am a fantasy.
I think this the reason why these movies are so popular is like it brings these things to the big screen and you're like, damn, I know it's never going to
It
be as good as the
really
book,
is
but this is
immersive.
cool.
Yeah, you are immersed. You're like, I can see myself in this world.
Yeah.
But it's world building by pure like images, like and like tech, like CGI and like that versus like story build. I mean, story building versus through like actions and I don't know.
They just said a bunch of stuff. They didn't really show anything happening. Like,
Do you know why spice is needed for space travel, Grant?
My theory was no one's space traveling. You just hit enough of it and you're just fucking tripping balls.
I'm
You're
in
like,
space,
I'm in outer space, bro.
the Fremen people did always look stoned out of their mind. Their mouths were always kind of open, and their eyes were just so like glazed and like
Yeah.
just like and just sitting in a circle, just chilling. I don't know.
Maybe Pat knows from reading the books a while ago. Why is spice needed? How do they use it?
It like folds space. Or, they don't explain it. There's soft science fiction and hard science fiction, with hard being like the science is like they try and justify what's happening with like real world applications, but the other one's like the spice makes space travel possible. So it just makes it possible, whatever happens.
Well, the theory that I've seen that I think is in the books, not 100% sure, never read the books, but
Yeah.
it's because the spice allows you to see into the future. And when you're traveling through space at like fucking super galactic speed, you can dodge all the asteroids and shit when you're moving.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, they could have said that.
That is pretty cool.
He did see into the future.
They
a
just
lot.
said we need it for space travel. He did. He was having visions. Saw that. That one girl who was
China?
like, she was in the movie for what, 10 minutes?
You would know her name, yeah, if it didn't end when she was introduced.
Or if
But
there were
she's in like
subtitles.
all the promotions for the movie have her in it. Like
She's
Yes.
very famous.
Is she?
what's that, Zendaya or whatever?
Zendaya. She's a HBO show, Euphoria. It's pretty big. Pretty good, actually. Really, actually, it was quite good.
I think I've heard of her in that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she looks Fremen. It's
I mean, it's like she's like narrating it. She takes the role as narrator.
Oh, is
How, like,
she?
Yeah, she opened the movie and she like through the visions, like important things are kind of being.
She was the narrator?
Yeah.
In the movie we
This
saw.
movie. the
Guys,
one we
did you guys watch this movie? Yes. It's a close up picture of like she's on the screen close up and she's like, my people have been ravaged for decades, like the Harkonnens or whatever.
I feel like
came
she was
to
the
my-
narrator of the trailer.
Well, that's a cut from the movie.
Yeah, but I feel like they used all the narration and they put it in the trailer, and then they spaced that out across the whole movie.
So she's the narrator.
But she narrates like 3 minutes total, you know?
But it's kind of connecting the gaps and telling a story, though. She progresses the story.
If that's what their intent
Are
was,
you
like,
sure
where
it
she
wasn't just
would've-
Euphoria where she narrated things?
Like she opened this movie and tells what events are occurring.
But in Euphoria, she's the narrator.
Euphoria and Dune are so different.
I'm just
Euphoria is like like a
making sure you're-
trans girl, like and her become friends, and she's struggling with heroin addiction. This
she
is-
could say my family was ravaged by my heroin addiction. She
Well, they were,
bookends
yeah.
the film as a narrator and appears in snippets.
Did you just say she appears as a narrator?
Bookends, whatever. I mean, the end of the movie.
And the start.
Maybe in this. Oh yeah, bookends.
Yeah, you start and
Yeah.
finish.
Makes sense.
I am
Okay, I'll give it
I
to
am
you.
98.5% confident of this.
Okay, I see why she'd be in a little bit more marketing then. She's the voice of Dune.
And she's gonna play she's gonna be the wife of she's gonna bear his children. His little creepy baby that knows everything.
Yeah, there should have been. I still think that she could have been more of a narrator then. Like if there's things that I'm confused about, and they have a narrator,
This one's for Grant Palmer.
then maybe they should use it more.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess they determined that it wasn't needed because she was the narrator.
I thought it was funny. Sorry, I'm going through my last notes. Paul knows Chinese at some point. I don't know if
I did not
'Cause
pick up on that.
it was weird because they were speaking some sort of foreign language, but since I had the subtitles on and I know a bit of Chinese, they were speaking Mandarin to each other at some point. Paul and someone else.
Oh, the doctor. He was Asian.
Yeah,
was.
It was the doctor. Yeah.
See,
But
told you
I
guys to
think
watch
if you
this
were a
movie.
viewer, you would be like, "Wow, that's some mystical language."
That's what I thought.
But it's just Chinese. And then he
That's
said,
odd.
because he asked like,
When the mom was in the room too, right?
yeah, he was like,
Before his hand goes in the box.
He just literally, I was like, he literally just said, what does that mean in Chinese? But like, that was weird. And the only thing I have left is everything is in slow motion, and this is a terrible movie. 'Cause I was checked out for the last 30, 40
Did you
minutes.
plow through the whole thing. One go.
No, I didn't. I did half, and I didn't want to watch the second half. So maybe for the second half, I was checked out.
Damn.
You didn't want to. Were you glad you ended the first half and you didn't want to watch the second?
Were you excited for it, Quinn?
Yeah,
we-
of course. I thought it would be cool. I don't know.
Which one? Okay, in terms of, did you like this one better or worse than Lynch's?
worse?
Wow.
I mean, maybe it's just because I think the cool part is understanding the relationships between people and the story, and then after you get that, I was like, I know what's gonna happen. I mean, and it just felt dragged
It's
out.
slow.
I was like, all
And
right.
I think it was,
like music.
That's
looking
what
when I
around.
just see you like sipping your beer, being like,
Dude, I checked the time so many times. I was like, come on.
see, okay, that definitely detracts from in a movie. You can't check the time.
Nope.
I didn't feel like it felt that long like it didn't feel too long in the film. I mean, in the movie theater, but I do see now where you probably thought it was drawn out because I think they wanted it to be two films, and I guess they still could have had two parts without this being 2.5 hours. Like this could have been 2 hours or less, I think.
Yeah. I
Yep.
think so too. It's just I don't know. It was a little I Quinn's gripes are all pretty valid, and I didn't really consider them going into it. I didn't read a lot of things about it either. I just kind of took it for the book, saw the first one, watched
Yeah,
this.
I tried to stay
Same.
away from some reviews as well.
So I don't know if that's a lot of people are critical of it for those things.
Well,
We do have one score we can look at.
Yeah, we could check
Yeah.
that.
But do you want to do Rotten Tomatoes or
I want to see both. I want to see Metacritic.
no?
Rotten Tomatoes
We
and
only want to
Metacritic?
see one.
That's
What is
wrong.
the one we want to see, Quinn?
It's the G&Q patented review where we decide whether the true rating of Dune is over or under the IMDb rating, and we are sitting at a fucking whopping 8.2 with 264,000 votes.
Has it entered I don't know how often the top 250 is refreshed, but
I
that
feel like there
seems
has
like top
to be-
250 levels, bro.
Yep.
It is
138.
in the top 250, 138.
Damn.
It's pretty fucking high up.
How much money did they spend on it?
Just so when
Mind-blowing.
we can save the suspense for maybe me or Pat. Quinn, why don't you start? What you
Under.
got? You're
I'm a
going
big under.
I am
That's
shocked.
surprising. Yeah.
I don't know how it could be over an 8. Usually IMDb is like pretty solid. Pretty solid. I struggle a lot with
Well, let's
our
think of
ratings.
movies. I think it
it's old
was
people.
a theatrical enjoy. It was a good theatrical experience.
It's the first epic movie back on the big
on
screen.
the big screens.
There hasn't really
And I
been-
will say, the
Demon Slayer
debut for
movie?
me is not bad.
Yeah, it definitely sounded like for you it was an enjoyable return to the movie theater. I'm under.
I'll go under too. Enjoyable experience at the movie theater. I want to see the next one. Those are the positives. Dissecting it with, you guys here. I don't think in a 2-hour part 1 or 2.5-hour part 1 movie I should really be confused about anything. I was. I think they added scenes from my memory, and the stakes of the Harkonnens, like destruction and brutality, I think was not highlighted, and that scene could have been like a whole Pompeii kind of like thing, like death and destruction of the whole town. I mean, they're literally wiping out all the Atreides, and we only see the royalty. And also, did they even really introduce that traitor before that moment? Was that the doctor guy? Okay.
I mean, I think they had him in a scene, but
He was the guy who spoke Chinese.
yeah. I mean,
You didn't
dude,
remember
the hunter
that?
seeker scene I thought was. Did we already talk about
Yeah,
that?
right. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I thought they set up the hunter seeker better in Lynch's version.
Yeah.
and it was way more realistic that you could grab it. Like this thing was like this big. I'm like, how do you grab that without getting stabbed? It was like a lightsaber like width in Lynch's version, where I'm like, okay, I can see that.
That did break my suspension of like disbelief. I was like, because I saw like it was all crumpled up. I'm like, I don't think it can be crumpled without like
It's like metal.
breaking your skin. Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's literally just a needle, and if you bend a needle, like it's probably gonna go into you.
And I'm thinking now they should have explained the Baron better and like why he is who he is. I think like he's like aging but not, and seems more indestructible than a normal human, and he can float, and they didn't explain any of that. Lynch didn't either, and maybe Frank Herbert doesn't explain it.
like
Spice
but-
makes your life longer. Spice.
Yeah, why do they not say that once throughout the film?
They did. They did.
Eating
mention
a lot
it.
of spice.
They mentioned it, but it's okay.
They mentioned it, I'm going under. 8.2 is wildly high.
Big man.
8.2 is wildly high, so I'm gonna go under as well.
Woo!
I liked Grant's comparison, or just until the end of the Harry Potter, got a little off track. But each
I've never seen
story needs to be kind of self-contained with like a little mini plot, but also push forward the kind of like greater arc, of Paul Atreides being like whatever Modib or whatever the other words are for him. But like I feel like there wasn't like a primary goal of the movie, And I feel like that you can't have a great movie without there being like a real plot that's self-contained and kind of solved. Just setting it up, it's not going to be great because you're sacrificing the current movie to have a bigger like, wow, that was set up so well in the second one, and it just there wasn't a lot of things.
And like, what if like the second movie's not good? Like, what if they mess up the second movie now? And even if one situation they mess up the second movie, then you're like, all right, well, that's both Dunes fucking suck. I'm not watching that. Two, if they rock the second movie, why would you ever watch the first one? Like, I feel like nothing that
happened.
cool happened in the first one that you're like, oh, that scene was sick.
It's just an introduction to the world, though, which could be new for
Yeah,
people.
but once you are introduced, don't you just want to jump into action? Like rewatch the second one, dude. Let's skip the first. It's so long.
Patience,
I
Grant.
want to watch the second one.
No, best scene, 1, 2. You get the whole picture.
Gotta learn
You're jumping
about
right to dessert. You gotta
in the
enjoy your
box.
entree
I'm a sweet tooth.
with that fudge brownie.
All right, 3 unders. What are we
Three
doing next
unders.
week, Grant?
Well, maybe we can discuss this after the podcast, but we are we're rolling this week, but I'm just thinking because I'm pulling up our list, which is locked in from June 21st. It's been 2.5 years of locked in, so we might have to do a refresh at some point.
Let's watch Dune again.
Dune's
roll
not
it.
on here. Not any movie that came out past June 21st,
I thought we were gonna
2019
refresh,
is
then
not
roll.
on the
Okay.
list.
Yep.
Might have
And
to-
then things are different numbers on the list at this point. But we're going to roll and use our list this time.
Okay, so you're just throwing the thought out there that potentially
I
refresh it. Okay.
I want that transparency for our viewers so they understand what's to come. We are discussing it right now. It's November 3rd. We're probably going to refresh the list soon, just so you guys know.
We'll take a look.
But in the
Quinn
meantime, if you're
I am
watching
skeptical.
and our live viewers right now says 0, but I think that thing's glitching out. Please
The
follow
algorithms.
us, gqreview.com/imdb-top-250. That is what we're going to refer to right now. And I'm going to roll the dice. You guys ready?
I'm
Can I
ready.
get some
I'm
drum
ready.
roll?
My seatbelt is
Drum roll.
buckled.
240.
Hit me with that refresh.
Wait.
Wow.
Quinn, it's happened.
Wow.
I'm talking about a refresh. I'm talking about changing the numbers, and this is a first. This is a first.
I have to.
Scroll.
This
quite
is
a
the
bit.
first thing. I mean, we've
Oh.
already.
This
seen
is the first
movie.
time we've rolled the same number out of 250. What's the chance? 250 down to 250. 1 out of. Right?
I liked
250.
when we rolled
625.
Toy Story, and then we rolled Toy Story
625,000.
3 the next time. That was another one of my favorite RNG
Yeah, that
moments.
was good. That was a good RNG.
But wow, all right. 240 is Before Sunset, which we have already reviewed in a previous episode.
Which is a good movie. I think we both went over there. That I liked Before Sunset a lot. You talk about romantic films. This was a true
Was
romance.
this one?
Yeah, dude, this one's good.
Not. This isn't the first
This is
one.
Ethan Hawke.
It's not Before Sunrise. This is
no.
Before Sunset.
You've seen this. I have not seen this. This is not a repeat.
Oh wow, we're having another first. That's
This is
Yeah, I
like a
was
Toy
thinking,
Story
wasn't
thing.
that the silent movie from like the 30s? I was
No,
like,
no,
this is
that's Sunrise.
Sunrise.
which I thought
there's-
was the
no.
confusion. Okay.
Wait.
We have
I'm
only
confused
seen.
now.
There's Before Sunrise? Wait.
We've seen Before Sunrise. That's number 7.
Yeah, there's
GQ
Before
review.
Sunrise, then there's Just Sunrise, or is it called Sunset?
No, I think that one's just called Sun. Dude, these are so confusing. If you just type in sun,
Sunrise.
Sunrise.
So there is Sunrise, a song
Wait.
of two humans. That's a 1927 film. We saw that.
They
There's
both have Ethan
Before
Hawke in it.
Sunrise, which is yeah. There's Before Sunrise, which is a 1995 romance, which we've rolled and seen, which was really good, and I liked it with Ethan Hawke. And then they made a sequel to that, which is
Yep.
Before Sunset, which came out 9 years later and takes place 9 years later, and they meet again. And I think it's pretty rare to have sequels both land in the top 250, so seems like
Only
they
a
did a
couple.
good job. And I think Quinn watched this with his girlfriend. It was, well,
Yes, I think so. But
And-
Pat would need to watch
That's what I was gonna ask.
the first one.
But that's good. We got the 2 weeks off, or the week in between then. For the viewers out
Yeah.
there, this is going to be 2
yeah.
weeks.
Yeah, let's do
They're
that.
really good.
So this is not a coinkadink, as Grant mentioned. Will be our first time to
I was
view
so excited because we've been waiting
before
for that moment.
sunset.
It's
Not to
like
be-
you see TV shows where they're like checking out at a grocery store and they're like, "You are the 1 millionth customer," and then they have like confetti and shit, and you're like, "That doesn't actually happen." Well, that was what I was expecting. You know, that's my level of excitement. I was like, "It's never gonna happen to us."
We should add
is it?
something to the display. So if that happens,
like some confetti.
You
or
have,
something.
no, you have
banner or
an
something like
overlay.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, just in case.
Yeah.
Can't.
So that way you could be the 1 millionth customer. You could live out this fantasy.
I could.
It's coming. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna do it.
Okay, so we will be
Load something
taking
up.
a 2-week hiatus, same as last time. Off.
We're
To
not taking 2 weeks off.
taking
We'll
a
see
week
you in 2
off.
weeks.
Yeah.
A week.
Resuming on
My
the
brain's
17th.
still working. Yeah.
Did you say your brain's still working? Or
Yeah, my
did you
brain's
say
still
it's
working.
not okay.
Why would you even ask?
Yeah,
I
don't
don't
ask me. I think was Sunrise our first. I'm trying to find
remember.
our previous review. Sometimes it's a bit hard because
Before sunrise?
I think it came
sunrise?
after Sunrise.
The movie before sunrise? Is that what you're looking for?
I'm just looking for Sunrise.
The 1927 film.
Correct.
Okay. I thought that was like the first one. It was one of the first ones we did.
Me too. I don't see it on our thing, but maybe I'll find it later.
Okay. Dude, it was one of the first. Because I feel like we've referenced it so many times.
So many times.
It's number 7.
No, that's before Sunrise.
It's before sunrise. Wait.
Oh, you're talking about Sunset?
No, I'm talking
There's-
about Sunrise,
Sunrise.
a song of two humans. There's a
Oh, my bad.
No, this is why it's confusing because I don't know.
Dude, I
I'll-
think
I don't
it's
see it.
lost.
Maybe it
I
is
thought-
lost. I don't see it on our website.
Yeah, what
It's
the
getting
hell, dude?
remastered.
All right,
It'll be out
that's
soon.
another goal. We're gonna figure it out because that's
It definitely happened before Toy Story. Was that a vault?
I don't know. We got to figure it out. We'll get back to you, viewers, with
Okay.
the answer.
Sorry for the chaotic last piece here, but next week before
Next week.
sunset, right? Next week before sunset, 2004.
Yes.
Anything else, guys? Next week. Pat, I'm excited for you because before sunrise,
Gets the
It's-
I
GQ
think we're gonna.
approval.
Are you committing to watching both? Because we can have you do a little mini over under for both.
Yeah, I'll watch both.
I think you need to. I mean, it's not even like a optional thing.
You have no choice.
if you want
Don't tell me what I need to do.
then you'll have to watch it.
All right. Anything else, guys?
Nope.
Just Plur.
Just blur.
Flare, baby.
Thank you, everybody, for listening and bearing with us as our brains still recover after a nice weekend. at
Relaxing
DC.
weekend.
Relaxing weekend. In the meantime, reach out to us. feedback@gqreview.com is where you can send us an email. Maybe you have a favorite 1927 film. Maybe you have seen where that podcast is, and you can point us in the right direction. You also can reach us on our socials at GQ Review. That is for our Twitter and our Instagram. And we will see you next week with Before Sunset 2004 with Ethan Hawke. Thank you all for watching.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.